Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 10:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. session of the 2022 OpenSimulator Community Conference. In this session, we are pleased to introduce the presentation, W4OS, WordPress Web Interface for OpenSim. Our speaker is Gudule Lapointe. Gudule is founder and public face of Speculoos World. Please check out the website found at conference.opensimulator.org for speaker bios, details of sessions, and the full schedule of events. The session is being live streamed and recorded, so if you have questions or comments during the session, you may send tweets to @OpenSimCC with the hashtag OSCC22. Welcome, everyone. Let's begin the session.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Galen. I will talk to you again about I say w4os. It's shorter than W. I created Speculoos World Grid 11 years ago, and we faced the same challenges, getting a fully operational grid and offer all the features. OpenSimulator, of course, provides the main features, but not all of them. You need to install at least a web interface, allow user registration, a web assets server, a couple of helpers, and for some, currency server. At least half a dozen different applications, each of them from a different project using different platforms or languages. And even when they use the same language, they use different standards for historical reason. Some of them even have no implementation at all, only workarounds, like the grid project OpenSim World, which replaces in-world places search by a beacon and a website, or our own project to do events, which is a fork of Tom Frost IP events, and it replaces event search by an in-world board. Oh, of course, you need a website too. So that's led to the creation of W4OS. It actually started 6 years ago as a simple collection of then available helpers with a unified config file and install script. Then 3 years ago, I felt the need to integrate it totally with the website. So I created a WordPress plugin to get a more complete solution. Why WordPress? It's popular, it's open source, it's powerful, and it's multi-language. Last year, I developed the reason for WordPress. You can look around the previous YouTube video. It's a one-stop for, and so it is, I wanted one-stop for all needs, user registration, grid management, in-world and web helpers. Wanted an easy setup. This is still, yeah, kind of. It could be easier, but we're working on it. And centralized management. And I forgot to show the slide. Well, too bad. Well, in conclusion, we have no easy jobs. So that's the approach. Where were we last year? When we presented the plugin for the first time here, I already had a bunch of features. I will not go in detail. The video is still available, but we could also already have avatar registration with default models, protected name rules, synchronization between avatars and WordPress users, and the basic web profile. Like this, the web profile. We also got blocks, which are a really great tool in WordPress to customize pages and the website in general. Available blocks were grid status, grid info, and a registration form. And you could use it in the splash page or in any other page of the website. Talking about splash page, we integrated the splash page customizable, a web asset server, and offline messages web redirection. In the meantime, what did we do? The most important thing was in-world search, being able to use the tools provided by the viewer to avoid relying on in-world objects, scripted prims, or website, external websites. And using the plugin to provide the search helpers allow to use also the result in the website. In the settings, you can choose to use a separate database. The search database is compatible with the other OpenSim searched DLL module, so it's interchangeable. And the search engine can be shared between several grids. So it is possible, for example, for any grid, even not using w4os, to use a search engine on a website that use with the w4os installed. Once the search engine is set, the inclusion is made from the standard viewer parcel settings. This is, I already said it, but it's really important to me to use as much as possible the viewer features. You just enable show place in search, and your parcel will appear in the results with the in-world descriptions and snapshots. No need to go into a form on a website or things like that. The lands for sales are also available as long as the show place in search is enabled too. And the classifieds. Classifieds are a really cool tool to add some dynamics in a grid. And so I integrated them too. By design, they only allow local destination, but it is also always possible, as I did it for this classified, to add a second life type URL for hypergrid destinations. And the most important to me, and I guess for a lot of people, the events. The sharing events is complicated. I worked a lot on the to-do events to get it efficient and working, to continue the work of Tom Frost. But I guess the in-world search is the most efficient one. By design, organizers cannot register events from the viewer. That's a viewer limitation or the global architecture limitation. Even in Second Life, events have to be registered from the website. Currently, we rely on to-do events, which is still a separate project, which itself rely on public calendars. But this is something we will address later, and we'll talk about it later also. And one more thing. The events are hypergrid compatible. This is not added manually. The event server automatically adds hypergrid URL to the event description, like you should see. I guess the arrow is quite visible. There are other improvements, in-world improvements. We added currency support. It currently works with the so-called fake currencies, which are sometimes real currencies with an external provider, with Podex and Gloibit. We should say, as long as Gloibit works. But the viewer buy option is enabled and allows already an estimation of the cost. And when you click buy, it redirects either to the vendor region for Podex vendors or to the website for Gloibit. We also updated offline message, but it's just a compatibility issue to match the current core database standards. So again, it should be easy to go back to standard offline messaging. The offline messaging is there just to allow mail redirection, because the rest is already provided by the OpenSim core. On the front end, the web profile now shows more details. The skills, the partner, languages, in-world and real life description, and all these are set from the viewer. I don't know why I hesitate. I think it's the thing I said most in this speech. The splash page, I talked about it. It was already in the previous version, but now it can include popular places. And when you click on a popular place on the viewer login screen, you get that place as a destination. There are also other improvements, like user login without an existing account. They can log into the website with their avatar credentials. That's for the transition. Once they do that, a local user is created also in the current version. In the next version, it will be optional for reasons we will see later. And the new registered user get a page with viewer configuration instructions. Okay, what's next? A few months ago, a grid owner told me that he has a grid with several avatars sharing the same email address. Well, this is not frequent usage, and it is definitely not something I was expecting, but nothing prevents it in OpenSimulator core. So I realized this created a compatibility issue with the w4os plugin. So here we are, rewriting the code to separate avatars from user. It doesn't look like, but it's a huge work as there are pieces of code in dozens of files. And I must admit, it made me slow down development on other parts of the project. But what would be the point to add new code knowing I would need to rewrite it soon? The good thing about this is that it makes me rewrite this multi-years, multi-source code in a more modular way. I expect version 3 to be released in the beginning of 2023. We are already in a good shape about it, but it definitely needs a lot of testing. After that, several exciting new features will be added, like what I call KISS. Keep it simple and stupid. I am not the only one to say that, but it's a global good philosophy in programming. So an easier installation process. I already tried to make it really easy, but plugin setup wizard and splitting config pages. So only helpers that are enabled will have a separate admin menu with the config pages for this helper. It will clear things out. Admin region control, web admin could see models and technical accounts. For now, they can only see actual avatars. Banned users management, thanks to Priscilla Kleenex for bringing back old memories recently. The user will be able to see and control their regions and parcels, and events registration will be possible from the website. And the next step about events would be to integrate merge to-do events projects inside w4os. So that's it. Thank you. I hope you will give it a try and give me feedback. There are already a couple of grids using the plugin, and they give feedbacks, and it's really useful, and it's really encouraging and supportive. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Gudule. This is very important, and thank you for showing us this slide where we can find out more about this. Very, very interesting. Let's see. I think we have time for one question. Does anyone have a question? My question was, where could we find out more about it? So you've answered that one.
That's answered.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Gudule, again, for an informative and interesting presentation. As a reminder to our audience, you will want to check out conference.opensimulator.org to see what is coming up on the conference schedule. You won't want to miss our next next session, which will begin at 11 o'clock a.m. in this keynote region and is entitled Dream Grid Statistics and New Features. Also, we encourage you to visit the OSCC22 Poster Expo in the OSCC Expo 3 region to find accompanying information on presentations and explore the hypergrid resources in OSCC Expo 2 region, along with sponsor and crowdfunder booths located throughout all of the OSCC Expo regions. Thank you again to our speaker and to the audience.
Thank you.